And we want to create a new player start here in this area.
Cool.
So we can go to plus and basic player start. And then we drag it here and down. And yeah, make sure it doesn't say bad size. We need to go up a little bit more. And here, so we're kind of in the middle of this rooftop area here. And yeah, now when we press play, we're gonna spawn on the rooftop. And one little adjustment I want to make is that it's kind of hard to see our feet because this ledge is in front of us. So I can go into the BP Captain. And yeah, if you don't have it open, blueprints, characters, Captain, BP Captain. And I want to change the spring arm angle here. So you can see that it is -10 here. And I actually want to change this to maybe -20 to, well, that's a bit too much, -15 to look at the character a little bit more from the top. Compile, save, and start then. And yeah, now this looks better. We can see the feet more and have a nicer angle that looks more interesting here. So yeah, one thing I want to do now is that our character can still walk up and down, but yeah, we're just gonna fall off the rooftop. And I made the whole up and down system so that you can use that if you want to make a game that uses the entire 3D world. If you want to make a beat 'em up, if you want to make also Metroidvania in 3D world, so you know how to create that. And things, the way of creating it in 3D and 2D space is kind of similar. So we create it in 3D space, and now we just want to clamp it. So we can go back to our character, so blueprints characters and action char, and here on this character movement component, well, we just look for constrain to plane, and we can just turn this on. And on the constrain plane normal, on the Y, again, we just set it to 1. And now we can start. And I cannot move up and down anymore. I can just go left and right. So we're gonna create a game with a 2D gameplay in this 3D world. Yeah, so we have the 3D backgrounds, but the gameplay is gonna be 2D, like this. One small thing you might notice is that if we walk right, but hold down, and then let go of right while holding down, we kind of like slide around, and this is kind of awkward. So we want to make this system a little bit more robust. And we can just go to the action char and create a new variable here. So, and we're just gonna we want to say we go and set is just gonna be the value enabled. Still important that we have, yeah, we can also keep it to 2D. We're not gonna take in, well, where's the input? Oh wait, the input is on our captain, so BP captain, event graph, and here we have our move input. So yeah, we always do the move input for left and right. So we only execute the like this. Cannot walk up and down, and let go of everything works just by changing this lock to 2D default value. So yeah, I take it away again, and I go into the map, and now I can walk in 3D space again. So this is a very easy way that we can switch between this. And you could even make this more advanced, that maybe you have some sections in your game where you want it to be locked to 2D. Creative with this, simple, so we can make. So what I'm thinking of is that we walk here to the right and we place a couple of enemies we have to fight. And then here we have the knife throwing, the sword throwing ability.
Hmm. Keeps waiting. Hmm. Word-based condition. Hmm. behavior tree.
So now it's finally time to working through, and in the other T, the behavior, but check for one and behave up to your person. And blue for basically more things. So here, where we cast to the shark, before we execute this, act, then we do, and I attack. Even if we, the way we can fix this is like this, and we can get the anim instance like this, and this works fine during the Control X up the attack. It's too fast. If we use an override, because it one more to AI, the player runs into our aggro range. We're just gonna check this.
That's right.
What we need to begin play, well, we have this temporary aggro system where we just set it right on begin play. We can just get rid of this, delete it, and compile and save. And now, and once waiting direction, and it starts here, we have this wait and to another condition. And here we can, it's the first one is the is not set, the stunt, it's fine. This one, we want not self actor but attack target and is set. Yeah, so we want to make sure that the attack target is set as the condition for doing this. And here we can just, again, observer aborts both. And again, this allows us to cancel the wait and just go into this right away, or also cancel the move to in case we forget about the attack target. However, for this game, we're not gonna make a system where we forget about the attack target if it runs away. We're just gonna, like, once we have aggro, we're just gonna keep the aggro. But yeah, this should be enough. So we can start then. And I walk into the range here. And yes, once I walk, enemy starts here. You can see this. Yeah, starts following me right away. Because in the behavior tree, we are aborting the observer for the wait and just going into this routine right away. And yeah, this is a simple, and we're not canceling this. So direction again here. We need to make a slight change here. And you can see that now they're just standing there, they're not attacking, and once it just kind of plays out, and after this wait tree, or attack, and yeah, just talk. Only make the AI. Yeah, we move it. Just one more improvement we want to make to the enemy AI is that. So in this episode, we want to make sure that the enemy character also just turns left and right and doesn't get the. We want to make sure that we just makes it more compact. Still works the same, works just fine.
Just the blackboard
settings. So we actually need to create one more selector. So we can once change it standard in the sport here. Yeah, this needs to be, and then here. And yeah, this event dispatcher is something we can subscribe to. So on the AIC enemy, not on begin play, but on possess, event on possess, we can then simply do this, and the possessed pawn, we can cast it to paper char, actually cast it to action char, which is our custom character, like this. And then we want to bind the event, so we can bind stun. So bind event to stun state changed. And from the event we can create event and, not event, actually custom, add custom event, and just called on stun state changed. And yeah, just the same name as here, but with on. And well, the first thing we can do is, and let's just see, and after the 3 seconds, false. So we know that this is gonna tell us in the AIC enemy, get blackboard, the bottom one, and set value as bool. Yeah, set value as bool. We can get rid of the print string, put that in here. The bool value is this is stunned, and it's stunned key like this is stunned key, and compile and save, and then here just call it is stunned. And again, this needs to be the same name as here as the variable name. And yeah, this is pretty much it. We are setting the value on the blackboard here. And the way you can actually test this is that we go here and you can just press Alt and P to bring up the play window, and we can see here is stunned is false. But if I attack, you can see on the bottom right is stunned is true, and then again is stunned is false. Yeah, right at the bottom right you can see it in the background. So we can see that the blackboard value is actually changing. So yeah, you saw it here on the right side. Yeah, so we can see that the blackboard value is changing, but the character is still moving because there's still one more thing we need to do. So we actually need to create one more selector.
So AI.
So we can go like more thing. So yeah, see tester. Again, this pipe that will and yeah, now this. And yeah, this event dispatch event with the is stun state in the blackboard state. In that case, let's just there we could set those aren't really great solutions. In this video, artificial me in the so first, yeah, this is what a blackboard looks like, and it basically just lets end the decision station, and we basically and for the select and success sequence finish after and things as key. But yes, and it's a whole long to 10 to make a simple piece. And here in the AI yeah, these three are can do. We don't need anything. The viewport, just go to event between the blackboard and the behavior, just like this, and starts up the behavior or BT. And we now need to let the BP shark know
Use blackboard run behavior trait.
Controller as. And by default, this is just AI controller. And we also want to look at auto possess AI, and not player, but auto possess AI, and this is only placed in world. So this the game is AI too. Common issue that is working. Just follow blackboard. So we can create a new key here, which is going to be the player because we try to. We can open this up, and for base class we use the BP captain. So yeah, BP captain, because yeah, the player can target. Then in the AI controller, the AIC enemy, we can create a function like this, and we're just gonna call set attack target. And yes, so the way we can set a target on the blackboard is just get blackboard here from the AI, the bottom one, get blackboard. And I think this is automatically being set. I don't think we have to actually save this in a variable. I think this is automatic here. And yeah, so we can get the blackboard, and here we want to set value as object, like this. And yeah, here we have two parameters. So we have the key name and the object value. So for the key name, we need to use this attack target. And yeah, so a good way to do this is to drag off and promote to variable, and just call it attack target key, and compile and save. And now, very important not to forget this, we need to set the default value here to attack target to have the same name as this one to create the connection. And we then also want to connect this here to create a parameter and input here, and I'm gonna call this attack target, and compile and save. But actually I want to BP captain object reference like this to be more specific, compile and save, and I get attack target, which again is just a shortcut from here, so I don't have to use this. And while we're at it, variable attack target. So this way we can keep track of if we have an attack target active or not. But yeah, this is here. We can just call this set attack target, and we just get a player pawn. Just to get things rolling after we begin play, after we run the behavior tree, we can just target. And yeah, but this is just temporary. So now when we start, the AI controller is just gonna look for the player and but for now, temporary aggro system. Yeah, just like this. And compile and save. Value. So that just mesh bounce volume. We don't want to be able to attack while we're on the access. Unlock. We're not supposed to be doing. Set our problem with right? So the issue with the enemy. ability, and we claim this, and then we go to the left again. We can put the sword into the wall, jump onto the sword, and then we get up here in this area. And here we get the double jump ability. And then here on the right side we have some sort of boxes that we can only get over if we have the sword in the wall and have the double jump. And this is kind of, yeah, like in a Metroid tease. And no, we're on 100. Also look for the, even without the double jump. So now, and some of these boxes. So then I end up and just press on jump, start flying here. Sure to this. Okay. Give me or their navigation. And yeah, you can. And yeah, here we gotta be careful. And yeah, make it a little bit wider. Just it's a bit just navigation here. Or I can just hold the scene. We need to use start, otherwise we get this jump like this. Then I can put the knife in here, and I go like this, and I double jump, and I can get over. So this is, yeah, kind of a Metroidvania mechanic with backtracking, unlocking abilities, and opening up new paths. I noticed a little bug with the double jump, and before I pick it up and just press L to jump and hold it, well, we just keep jumping, which is fine. But after I pick it up, if I hold L, we start flying, which is of course not great. And the issue is here that on the BP Captain I was using triggered on jump instead of started. And in the third person character we need to use start. Thanks, even if I pick it up, sorry about that. So now let's put in a couple of enemies in our path. Just grab this here. And we also need to make sure that again we get this 3100 on the y-axis and apply it to this guy. Well, already had it, but... And left click this red arrow. Then yeah, one more guy. Aim and walk around, and they're gonna start attacking me. Or they're not gonna start attacking me because we don't have a nav mesh bounce volume. So if we look on show, and yeah, we have navigation on, but there's no navigation here. Which we need to add. So go to plus, and it is on all classes, and have a navigation, nav, mesh, bounce, volume. Yes, and we can just put this over here, and put it down here, and yeah, you can see this green area that is here, and yeah, so while we have this selected here on the right side, under details we can go to the brush. Yeah, here, the brush settings. And yeah, here you gotta be careful to not make the same mistake I did before, where you just have a too big value. So just slowly drag it, and yeah, maybe like something like 20,000. Try this, and yeah, this looks about right. It's a bit bigger than we need, but yeah, it's better if it's a bit too big rather than too small. And then also on the Y, we can make it a little bit wider, just to have some playroom. So yeah, it's 500, so 500, have some wiggle room. And on the Z, well, we want to make sure that we get this floor and this floor, which we do, but yeah, just give it a little bit more wiggle room, also 500. So yeah, 20,000, 500, 500. And now you can see that this entire area has this green overlay, which means the navigation should be working here. And now we can just start again. We can attack. And so we're gonna and double jump, get over here, and back. Yeah. In this episode, we just want to add a couple of spawn on the way back, and then again we pick up this up with nothing. So click to open and just open from class. And for the class, it's just gonna be the shark, BP shark. Let the struct pin, and we can and actually let's close all of these tabs and just open it up again, the BP spawner, and yeah, open the full blueprint edit.
spawner.
And double click to open it up. And actually let's close all of these tabs and just open it up again, the BP spawner. And yeah, open the full blueprint editor. And yeah, so in the viewport, we actually don't have to add anything. We simply need this position. But we want to create a function and just call spawn shark, just like this. And we're gonna spawn actor from class. And for the class, it's just gonna be the shark, BP shark, like this. And we need to give it a transform. So we can split the struct pin and we can get actor transform like this. And right click here, split the struct pin and give it the location and the rotation. Generally speaking, you don't want to pass the scale because you always want the character to just be spawned at 1, 1, 1. Otherwise you get some like weird deformation. And yeah, for the collision handling override, just to make sure, always spawn, ignore collision. So we don't have any weird collisions where the character is just not spawning and not appearing. And this is pretty much it. Just compile and save. And we can then go in here and place the BP spawner here. And don't place it in the floor because yeah, we get some weird collision. Actually put it like pretty high up in the air because we're not gonna see the enemy spawning in, so even if it falls down here, it's all good. We just need to make sure that we're on the same line as here. So on the details, we have 3100 on the Y. So also for this spawner, one alt and drag on the red arrow, put one more spawner here. And I think this is fine, yeah, just having 2 enemies. And you now need to trigger them. So inside of the ability blueprint, we have abilities and have the BP ability pickup, which is the parent. And in here we can create a variable and just call spawners. And it's gonna be of type BP spawner, like this, and the object reference, and compile and save. And this is a, we need to set this to an array. So here variable type, we go to array. And yeah, just compile and save. And this needs to be instance editable. And compile and save. So what we can do here now is that we select this and get rid of this search. So we have the sort throw ability. And if we scroll down here, we have these spawners. And we can just press plus and get this eyedropper, and just pick this BP spawner. And the same for this one, we can just use this eyedropper and pick this BP spawner. So now this ability knows about these 2 spawners, but we're still not really using them. But yeah, we can go in here, ability pickup, and then before we destroy the actor, when we make gain ability, before we destroy the actor, we can then just get spawners. And plus, we scroll down here, get now is that we select this and get rid of this search. So we have the sort throw ability. And if we scroll down here, we have these spawners. And we can just press plus and get these and the same ability knows about these 2 spawners, but we're still not really using them. But yeah, we can go in here, ability pickup, and then before we destroy the actor, when we make gain ability, before we destroy the actor, we can then just get spawners. And for each loop, so for every spawner, we're gonna execute this once, the loop body, and we're gonna have the array element and just call spawn shark on every one of these spawners. And once we're done spawning, completed, then we destroy the actor. And this is pretty much it. Just compile and save. And now we want to do the same for this spawner, so we can just select it. And here again we have these spawners, just plus plus to get 2. Use the eyedropper to add this spawner, and use the eyedropper to add this spawner. And now I can just play the game and defeat the enemies. It's all good, like this, like this, and the last guy. And once I pick this up, I go back, and we have new enemies here. And now I can use the throw ability and test it out, which is going to be more interesting. Have the throw here, the other enemy, get him. Then climb up here. The other, if one already pulled that up, Prince, we just want to write a statue inside a statue. We can just look, might be too box a little bit like this. Get the road. Go for the app. Only care about the player. And we're not really gonna do anything with the player, so if things get weird, in the handle like this, put it here, and just connect this here. It's gonna convert from a string to a name. And yeah, so this basically just restarts the map that we are currently on. So compile and save, and on the goal, Well, we could get the game mode on begin play and cast it here at game mode, like this here. Here, of let's say 2 seconds, like this, and then we restart the game. So, and we don't want to play through everything now to test this, so for now I can just drag this over here just for testing, close to the player. And actually we're not on the right line, so here we also want to make sure that we are on this, the game reloads. So this part is working. Back here, feeded GM action characters, and on the action chart we have this receive attack, and here we know that if the current health is needed, because yeah, we don't want to restart the game. So again, an easy way to do this is to so here in the receive attack, we want to the right side. If we are defeated, we want to add an event dispatcher. So just click plus and defeated. So drag this out here and call defeated. And yeah, what we can do here now is in the children we can subscribe to this and then decide ourselves what we're gonna do. So we can combine save, and in the BP captain on begin play, after we set up all of this stuff, well, we can just bind defeated. So bind event to defeated, on the single times action, have a bit of a delay here, wait for 2 seconds, save 3 times, 4 times, and some time passes and the game restarts. Open it up here, component, move it down, which is this thing is in the last episode. And now we can go to begin play and then just -40 on the Z. And now we can go to begin play, event important on the shark, right click on begin play and add call to parent function, because otherwise the shark, yeah, we can just and drag off here and create event. Again, every time a custom event. I make this mistake all the time, sorry. On defeated, and here set relative location, defeated pause, and get relative location, and just plug this in here. I will defeat the enemy. Wait, and it's a little bit too much in the ground. It's just on the ground. You might know, or material. Easy to the BP cap. The sprite. Well, 10 is too, just very slightly. And this way, if we the enemy, kind of like, and all behind. That Unreal Engine has, and the cool look that we can create. And also like how you can create some enemies, how we can create some nice abilities like this that are Metroidvania inspired. And also how you can think about your level, make a small playable level for your character. And I hope you'll be able to apply what you learned here to your own games, and I think the possibilities are pretty much endless. All the things you have learned you can just expand upon and create some variations of them, and you should be able to create some really interesting and cool games.
Cool. Paper. Scissors. Draw. Okay, so now we want Did you find out the information you needed to find out? And get from here. None of that. Huh. Hmm. Well, that's cool. Okay. Anyway. Okay. What do we want? Repack enemies. Guess my hardest part here is clear path forward. $330. We start with a layer 1. What do we need? A menu. Either 1 player, 2 player. And then character selection. screen character selection screen. 3, 2, 1. Wait. Sorry. Okay. How many characters? Let's go with extract to content. Okay, I don't know why that didn't extract. That's okay. Got it now. Okay. So I want to do 6. So let's get rid of the panda. Oh, not the panda. The tanuki. The toad. So we got 5 to pick from. Both slide in player 1 NPC is random. Attack, special, guard, attacking, attacking beats special, attacking loses to guard. Special beats guard. Special loses to attack. Guard. Attack. a special. In any of the same instances again. Loses special. So attack loses to guard, special loses to attack. Special beats guard, guard beats attack, guard loses to special, attack loses to guard. Cool. And then attack. Attack. Special to special. And then guard to guard. Okay, so I guess how to make a character start screen in UE5. How to make a character start screen in UE5.
This is Taco Bell.
Okay, so I think we're gonna change the name. Noob game dev learns how to code. Code. Rock. Paper. Scissors. Fighting game.
Brand new cantina chicken menu, and as a chicken girly, the chicken is slow roasted, comes with fresh ingredients, the avocado verde salsa.
Hello, in this tutorial I'm going to go over how we can create a main menu inside Unreal Engine.
Cool.
So I'm in the third person template, but you could be in any template, and the first thing I'm going to do is go to my window and go to my content browser and just click content browser 1 just so that's permanently there. Then what I'm going to do is just right click and create a new folder, just call this UI, and we can head inside here and we're going to create
Content, new folder, UI.
our main menu. So to do that, we first want to right click and then go to user interface and select widget blueprint and then select user widget, and I'm just going to call this my main menu, and then we can double click and open it up.
Main menu.
And once we're in here, we just want to go to the palette in the top left and look for our canvas panel and just select it and drag it into this hierarchy tab, and this will be our canvas where we're going to create our main menu. Next, in the palette we want to look for a vertical box and just drag it into the center of the screen and make it a bit wider, and then you just want to anchor it to the middle of the screen, and then inside of this vertical box we're going to add 3 buttons, and these buttons. Next, in the palette we will look for a vertical box and just drag it into the center of the screen and make it a bit wider, and then you just want to anchor it to the middle of the screen, and then inside of this vertical box we're going to add 3 buttons, and these buttons will be the options on our menu. So under the palette I'm going to look for a button and just drag this button 3 times into the vertical menu. So I'll just do this 3 times. And with each button, I want it so there's a bit of a gap between each of the buttons. So just select the first one, and we're going to go to padding, and under the bottom, I'm going to put a padding with a value of 100. This will basically push the button beneath it down by a space of 100, so you can just play around with the values here if you wanted to. I could also put a padding at the top of 100, and we can see that it pushes this button 100 from the top. I'm also just going to put a padding of 100 here, and I'm just going to leave that one blank. Next, I'm going to add some text to my button. So to do that, we're going to go back to the palette and look for text. And we can just simply drag from the text here and drag it onto our button, and it'll drag the text onto it. So we're just going to do this 3 times.
Cool. This is pretty simple.
This first text, I'm going to make it say the word start. So we want to go to the content, and then under the text here, just type in what we want it to be. So I'm going to type in start. For here, I'm going to type in options. And for here, I'm going to type in quit.
I don't really know if I want options once. Let's do, instead of this, I said I wanted. So I'm just going to go off of what I wrote down. So we'll do player 1. And then this will be player 2. And then we can do quit. Usually how these types of games go.
Now my text is quite small, so I want the size of it to be a bit bigger. So what I'm going to do is select each text, and then what we can do is go to font, and then we can see size here, and I'm just going to make it so the button here is 40, and as we can see, that makes all of my text a bit bigger.
Don't.
Next, we're going to make it so that our main menu basically appears in a level, and we can set up all these buttons so that they work. So to do that, I'm just going to close this main menu, and then I'm going to create a new level. So I'm going to go to File, New Level, and we want to select an empty level. I'm just going to create, and then the first thing I'm going to do is click Save. It's going to ask me where I want to save this level, so I'm just going to save it in my content folder, and I'll call this the main menu map. And click Save. And one thing, when you create a new level, if I click play, we can see that I start as this third-person character, or you'll start as whatever game mode your project is in. We don't want this. We want it so that when we are in a main menu level, that no character spawns. In order to achieve this effect, what we can do is create a blueprint. So I'm just going to right-click and go Blueprint Cast, and then we want to select Game Mode Base, and just call this Menu Game Mode. And now, if I go to my window, and we go to World Settings, a World Settings tab will appear. And now, if I go to my window, and we go to World Settings, a World Settings tab will appear. And if I just drag this Menu Game Mode onto my Game Mode override, right now it's blank. Now if I click Save and click Play, we can see that I'll spawn no character. And that is because inside of my main menu game mode, there's no default spawn class. If I say make this the third person character, I'd always spawn as the third person character. So we just want to leave that blank. That way, no character will spawn inside of our title game mode.
Hey, got a second?
Cool.
I'm going to show you how I got the flexibility to code, create, and experiment.
Next, we want it so that our main menu actually appears inside of this level. To achieve that effect, we just want to click this little 3 dots, and then go to Open Level Blueprint. And then event begin play, what we're going to do is just drag off this node, and look for Create Widget. Just want to click this little 3 dots, and then go to Open Level Blueprint. And then event begin play, what we're going to do is just drag off this node, and look for Create Widget.
Create
The
widget.
is going to be the main menu, and then we just want to drag off here and look for Add to Viewport, and click Compile. And if I close this and go play, we can see I'll have my main menu with the start option.
Current value.
And if I close this and go play, we can see I'll have my main menu with the start, options, and quit button.
Oh,
The next thing I'm going to do is basically
Kinda
make sure
highlights.
that all these buttons work. And I'm also going to add a background to my main menu so we're not just staring at this black screen. So I'm just going to close this, head back to my main menu, and when I click the start button, I'll just select this button. We can scroll down and go to on clicked, and when this button is clicked, I'm just going to drag off here for open level by
button.
name, and when I click the start button, I'll just select this button. We can scroll down and go.
What? Events. Why does he have events? I don't have events. Button. Is variable. Needs to be checked. Let's see. And then click.
On click, and when this button is clicked, I'm just going to drag off here for open level by name, and then we can type in the level we want it to open. So I'm inside of the third person template.
So copy.
And the level is called the third person map. So I'm just going to take a copy of the name, copy it, head back to my main menu, and just paste the name inside here.
Luckiest mouse in the world goes to this guy.
For the scope of this video, we're not going to create an options menu, although in a later video I'm going to go over how we can create a full options menu. So we'll leave this blank. For the quit button, we're just going to select it. Again, scroll down and go on click. And on click, you can just drag off here and put quit game. And this will make it so that we quit the game. Next, I'm going to basically add a background for my main menu. So I found this cool Unreal Engine background on Google, so I'm just going to drag it inside my project. And then right.
So we need a cool background to start. So I wonder if I have some sort of main menu.
Right click, go to fractions and apply paper to texture settings just to make it clear. Then if I head back to my main menu and go to the designer, under the palette I'm going to look for image, just drag it in, and
Image.
then for anchor, I'm just going to anchor it so it's across the whole screen, and I'll make the offset 0, this 0, this 0, basically everything 0. And then for the brush, I'm just going to select the image that I imported. Okay, so it's called UE mannequin image. One thing for backgrounds, you kind of want the image resolution to be 1920 by 1080. Then to make this image basically appear behind our buttons, what we can do is just change the Z order to be -1. And as you can see, this will put the image behind the vertical box menu that we made. If I select this vertical box, you can see that its Z order is 0. So the way the Z order works, basically the higher numbers will basically be displayed on top. And now that I have my image, I'm actually just going to select my vertical box and move the main menu here, just so it looks a bit better. And I'll also just move the anchor so it's here. And now if I can compile, let's test out our main menu. So if I go play, if I click start, I'm taken to the third person game mode. If I click quit, the game quits. There's one more thing we need to fix with our main menu. If I click the play button, as you can see, when I start, I first tap my mouse. However, if I click, my mouse disappears and I can't really get access to it again. Also, if I click the play button and I click start, when I start my game, I start with this mouse cursor. We don't want it here, so we're just going to add a couple of settings to fix that. we need to go back to our main menu. And we'll head back to the graph. Event construct. This is going to fire as soon as the main menu is spawned. What we're going to do is just right click and it will get player controller, and then we'll drag it and it will set show mouse cursor. Just leave this button checked and this will make it so the mouse player controller, and then we'll drag it and it will set show mouse cursor. Just leave this button checked and this will make it so the mouse cursor basically appears in the game. And then we'll drag it here and it will set input mode UI only, and then hook this into here, and this will just make it so the mouse cursor basically appears on the screen. And then when we click our start game button, we're going to basically do the opposite. So I'm going to copy this bit, the get player controller, set show mouse cursor, paste it here. Although this time we want to uncheck the show mouse cursor. This will make it so the mouse cursor is hidden, and we want to drag it here and it will set game mode only. So set input mode game only, and then hook this up and click compile.
Set input mode game only.
Now if I click play, I'm just going to go full screen. I can click my mouse cursor and you can see my mouse. Still appears, I can start one, my mouse cursor disappears and I'm spawned straight into the game via my mouse cursor, and we have a functioning main menu. So that's all for this tutorial, and that's how you can create a main menu.
Awesome. How to create a character selection screen in Unreal Engine. Damn, there ain't many of these. Let's give it a good old try. Which of these stories have you recently seen advertised online?
Tutorial, we're going to be simple but still be built on created, crafted character selection that we have. We simulate having a main menu, and we're going to make so we character that we chose, which then spawns in on that level.
There's emotion. And
so here we are inside of an Unreal Engine 5.3 version.
I should bring it into
version project. The only thing that I've done in this project is that in the content folder I have created a folder called character selection and added some images to use for the character selection. This is based on or made from a third-person template, meaning that if we were to play, it's a character selection screen. So let's start off with actually doing that. So we'll go to user interface and widget blueprint selection, something like that. So this will represent the widget that we will present to the player, where they can make a selection of characters essentially. So inside of this one, we're going to keep it fairly simple. We're going to be, in this case, again, canvas panels should be used sparingly. I'm just using this for simplicity's sake here.
Why?
To display how inside of a canvas panel we want to have our different characters to select. Now you could start off with doing something like taking buttons, just placing buttons here and having them be certain sizes for the different characters, something like that. Copy paste, have 2 buttons, and then hook onto these on clicked events, and then just from here you just write your code here, and
That's
then
it.
duplicate your code over here. This is a bit of a rookie move, of course, because not only will we get duplicated code, we will also...
You seem to have a lot of questions today. Well, I finished. Hello, how are you? Hope you're doing well today. I finished the other thing of the 2D 3D space, and so now what I have laid out is this so far. So what I want to do is that, so we have a player menu now. So player 2 is not going to happen if we quit. Cool. It quits. That's what we want. There's nothing in player 1 yet because we haven't started yet. But player 1 is supposed to bring us into a character selection screen. I picked 5 people. A spitter, a summoner, a panda, a ghoul, and our samurai sci-fi dude. And then it's gonna go 3, 2, 1 start. No, 3, 2, 1, and then it's gonna be like ... and then the exclamation point is gonna come on the screen. At which point the NPC or player 1 and player 2 would pick their input. The inputs are 3 different inputs: attack, special, and guard. Because like I didn't necessarily want to make it rock, paper, scissors because I found that hard, but what I also realized is that most of the sprites that I have usually just have 2 attacks. So I don't know how to make a 3rd attack yet, and I didn't want to try to tackle that. So I decided that I'm going to get a shield PNG. And so when someone decides to press guard, the shield will come up in front of the person. And then so if you attack while the other person does a special move, then the attack wins because the attack will be faster than a special move. Special beats guard, guard beats attack. And then if there's any instance of the same move being picked, then the round gets restarted. And then this will be best of 5. Best of 5. And this is rock, paper, scissors.
We'll be limiting the scalability of this character selection already, so we don't want to do anything like that. So we're gonna get rid of both of these buttons, and click events because we don't need them like so. What we instead are going to do to keep our modularity up is create a widget for our actual character selection individuality. So we'll make another user interface, another user widget. We'll call this one w_character select.
Okay, so I think we can start there. So another UI menu. Widget. Character. Oh, UI. Character. Selection. Oh, there we go.
So this will represent one selection of a character. Opening that up, we can now structure how we want this to look. So we will keep it fairly simple. We'll do something like a vertical box so that we can place a few different objects within it and have it structured in a way we want it. We could put a size box inside of it so we can determine a little bit how much space we want it to take up. So the size box, we could already override the width and the height and do something like, I don't know, 300 pixel width and 500 pixel height, something like that. And then we do click over here and decide on screen, and we'll get the actual screen space it will be taking up once it's done. Inside of this, we can put something like an overlay. An overlay will allow us to put objects with different positions within them so that we can have this space out with different parts in different areas if we wanted to later on. For now, we don't really need too much of this, but we're gonna have an image to begin with. An image in the overlay to have as a visual representation for the images that I imported. So if you want to use an image here, you can do that. Again, the representation of how your character selection is going to look doesn't really matter all that much. You could have a turntable of characters, you could have a bunch of different images for character selection. The visuals of it is not that important. There would be some minor differences here and there, of course, but it's not the main focus on this. So for now, we're gonna take this image, we're gonna fill it in both axes, that way we'll take up all of the space, and we're gonna add a button to this. So adding a button will allow us to make sure that we have an event to interact with on this character selection. We'll make sure that it's also covering everything. So now it's gray on top of the white, which means that it's a button on top of the image, which is what we want. We want to go to background color here and set the alpha to 0 so that we see the image below. So it will essentially be a invisible button on top that will be listening for clicks for us to interact with. In addition to that, we can also take a text or something like that, and we can add it to the vertical box, and we can center this, and we can call this something like character selection text. We'll click it as a variable. We'll go to the image and we'll call this character select.
There was something I was able to do with this before.
selection image.
Character selection. And then character selection image.
So now we have two different variables that we can interact with in here. So moving on, we want to actually be able to fill these things. So what we'll do is we'll go to our graph and we want to remove our pre-construct and want to remove our tick. In here we want to essentially say we want to set our values to be whatever character that is supposed to be here. So how do we get that character? Because now we have made a widget that is, if we do it like this, we compile, save, make sure to compile and save this one as well. And in our character selection one, we can go to user created now.
Oh.
We can drag in a character select, for example. So if we were to drag them in like
Okay.
this is what they're going to be looking at like right now. If we take size to content, they're going to be having the size that they are actually going to be. But what we want inside of these is we want an ability to easily populate data inside of these character selection widgets. And how we can do that is by expanding on modularity again and scalability and create a data table.
Okay. I feel like this is quickly going over my head. Doing a data it is hard to find tutorials which actually help and explain what nodes does. They usually follow over small things. Oh, okay, so I guess this is good for newbies. I just need to take a step back. So character selection. And then he has I guess I need to make one more. So we have the main menu and then the character selection. And then UI character select. Oh boy.
So we'll have a data table as sort of our lookup for the information, and then we'll just
So
essentially. So inside of this one, we're going to keep it fairly simple.
this is character menu. Okay. I am wanting to get more done, but I'm glad I finished the course. I'm glad we're moving on to this. And I have to go to lunch, and I will be back in a little bit. I'll probably try and finish some of this up today. If not, we will finish it tomorrow. But for now, I will talk to y'all later. Good progress, learning. But need to start kind of connecting the dots, I feel like, is where we're at. So new character menu thing is cool, but in time we'll figure it out. But for now, bye-bye.